I'm Josh Blake. This is the Painter Files Presents Painter's Breakfast. I got my Jinshi shirt on, my gentes. You know how it goes. I made this shirt like forever ago, and it's still available. I'm doing some crazy stuff right now there we go. As far as like some fun little bits to do, art-wise before this festival in October on the 19th in Tacoma Park, Maryland. I'm trying to sync a bunch of things at the same time, so give me a second. There we go. Oh no, the volume. There we go. Everything's perfect. Um, yeah, let me see. So, one of my best friends in the whole world, Jenna, got kittens. So we went over and hung out with her and had some curry, which historically is my favorite food in the whole world. And so we ordered some food and we had that. I didn't make curry or anything like that. No one made curry from scratch. I haven't really had that in a long time. Like my family's from the Caribbean, Latin Caribbean, nonetheless, and we they cook everything from scratch. So it's kind of one of those things where you get good food, but you have to like wait all day for good food. So that plays a factor into it. Today I'm just doing something simple. I've got some apple cinnamon oatmeal, some iced coffee with some oat milk. Just a chill, laid back type of situation. So I have my bite, and then we can get into the getting in. How goes it, Galeras? I hope you're well. I hope things are treating you properly. Hope your weekend went well. This is probably like the most I've ever really watched the Olympics. My whole life. There was this meme I saw that was perfectly illustrated where it says, it shows a guy taking the trash out and just throwing it into the street. And it goes, my patriotism as soon as the Olympics ends. And I was like, yeah, pretty much. I was like, yeah, this is one of the few occasions I root for the U.S. in anything. But it was good. It was really good. I was impressed by how well it all came together. Had a lot of really amazing athletes. Very little strange controversies. There were a few, but very little. And then came breakdancing. Oh my goodness, what to say about breakdancing? So for those who don't understand what breakdancing was like a type of dance that people came up with in the, I want to say early 80s, maybe late 70s, to like rap music. There was no hip hop at the time. And so there's like a whole cultural aspect to it where people were like dancing in front of the metro and trains, and they were like putting stuff down and dropping cardboard and doing all types of crazy stuff. And then when they would break and they would beat and they would do all this cool stuff, and then suddenly you just kind of saw this like revolution of it becoming a real considered art form via a lot of people, which I think is really cool. Because I've known people who like they broke their whole lives and they wanted to be seen as like dancers and stuff like that. And for a long time, like it wasn't considered like a legitimate art form. So now it's in the Olympics, and they had everybody wait till the end of the Olympics to have this historic competition. I mean, they failed horribly the first day. Um, it just wasn't done very well with, particularly the women. It wasn't all a failure, but it was definitely one of those things where like they didn't really curate the music very well for the women. By the time the men's competition came around, like all the music was like very crisp and it kind of worked. But like the women, it was strange. Like it didn't make sense some of the choices they made. And then came Australia. My goodness. I've never seen a flailing, like, I don't even know what to call it. It was just really bad. And from that, people just roasted the hell out of Australia. Like, it was just bad. It was really bad. You could tell, like, she was not at all, like, she was considered, like, apparently she was, like, the champion of Australia in breakdancing. And I was like, well, I don't know if she was nervous or just not good. I'm gonna lean into she was horrible at it. And it was really funny to hear people like come to her defense because they're like, "Oh, you don't know what it's like to have all this stuff and all these things and the pressure and etc." And I'm like, the culture of breakdancing is, if you suck, people are going to boo and roast you. That is how breakdancing works. If you claim to be a champion of breakdancing, you have not. This is not your first time being told you suck at something or booed or anything. Like you're competing against other people in like a huge cipher. So it's like a round stage. You've got crews on both sides of dancers, and then they compete against each other's crews to see who can do the best dance moves. And it's really cool. Like, have you ever seen one in actuality? YouTube it, watch. Instagram, watch. Do those things. And it was just disappointing. Like, it was supposed to be this thing that really kind of captivated and grabbed people. And just shit the bed, man. I can't think of a better way to put it. Just shit the bed everywhere. It was bad. It was really bad. When the men's came up, you could tell like they definitely fixed the problem. But it was just sad because it was weird. And then there was also like another aspect of like there was like very little like there's very little like black and Latino like representation in it. There was a little bit of a Latino representation. There wasn't a lot of black people, like really at all. And that was kind of strange because like it is an art form that was created by black and Latino people, and it's very much an American sport. I don't even say Asian Americans, even like there's a lot of it going in there, and like I just didn't see that as much as I would have liked to. It's kind of weird. And then when they did it, and I wasn't so much disappointed in that until I saw like the actual dancing done, and I was like, some of this is horrible. You could have really just found like some random kids on the street who would have been so much better than some of these people. And then there were other ones who were just they were breaking and they were amazing. Like I always say, like if you watch somebody break, one of the main things you're probably gonna see is somebody do some crazy move that is that makes you go, ah, my elbow or my knee or whatever. Like it's not uncommon to see a move that just like, how did you do that and still have like functioning body parts? Um, so yeah, I don't know. It wasn't what I hoped it would be. And they built it up for so long like it was going to be, and then it just wasn't. And that just kind of sucked. It was sad. It was sad and it was unnecessary. And they could have done a better job. And I blame them on the aspect of a lot of the music was super whack. They didn't bother to even have like almost any like hip hop music at all. They like busted out like some like samba music randomly, and like these kids were supposed to just like breakdance to samba. I was like, come on, man! Like, you would have been better off getting kids who beat buckets outside of the metro, dancing on cardboard in the park, just having a good time. Like, that would have been better. They have all these shows on TV where people dance and have a great time in competitions all over the world. So there are so many people who actively participate in these things. And it was just bad, man. It was so bad. I was so disappointed by that. It was completely unnecessary the way they did it. And I don't know. I don't know. I expected better. I expected more. I expected better. Didn't deliver. What do you want? I still think we all collectively came together to roast this one lady who was horrible. She called herself a ray gun. She's an Australian white woman in green, like the Australian Olympic kind of jumpsuit of sorts. Had her shirt tucked into her pants. Just did these horrible dance moves. And it's weird because like she's getting interviews, she's doing all these things, and she's horrible at it. And as opposed to interviewing like the actual champions who won, um, I've not seen any of them be interviewed. The gold and silver and bronze medalists. This woman got 0 votes. She's probably one of the first people to ever not get any allotted points in an Olympic event that I've ever seen. Where they score points. It was just wild, man. It felt so blatantly disrespectful to the art form. Particularly to get something, I think if the men hadn't done so well, we wouldn't get another breakdancing Olympic sport in 2028. I think when the next Olympics come, like, it would be something that fell off. Because it was just done so poorly. And then, yeah, there's the whole aspect of just, like, the music was just bad. They had DJs, but the DJs were like club DJs, but they weren't like breakdancing DJs. Hmm. That's a real sigh. I don't know. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. I feel like this is that point when people point out that like representation is really important. Like you need to have people who are a part of the culture and a part of the scene and the history to be there, to officiate, to make, to to do everything. Like it was just you could tell like it was made up of a hodgepodge of a few people who really shouldn't have been there. And this could have been a big stage to like celebrate 50 years of hip hop and the musics and everything that came with it and the styles that came with it. And instead it was just kind of it's a very gentrified version of it. Sucked. It was bad. But, side note, I got to hang out with some kittens. So I got to meet Fiona and Lucy, who are Jenna's cats, her kittens. They are very cute. They're tabbies. They got long tails and little bodies because they're kittens. And they were just fun. They like to chase things and bite people and, play. And they were just sweet. I got home and my cats gave us looks like, why do you smell like somebody else? And so, like, I had to appease them afterwards. And that's been okay. They're fine with it now. They're just sleeping everywhere like they always do. But yeah. I'm trying to figure out for the art show, festival, tabletop thing, I'm trying to figure out what I want to make to put that together. I've got this idea of like I want to take a couple of the big paintings, not a lot, maybe like 5. I got to make backs for them so they can sit up against things. So people can kind of flip through them and see how they go. I think they're super cool, super fun. And then I want to make a bunch of prints of some random work I don't know if I should do the abstracts, if I should do like pictures from the books, because I've got so much artwork from those books that I think would make really good prints. So I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about presentation, uh, just how everything comes together, you know, how to present things. I helped Alec do hers last time, and now I have to kind of like put that forward about myself. And I have to figure out who shows up there. Does El Pintor show up there? Does Jaws Blake? Does Joara? Does, you know? And it sounds silly to ask these questions, but like the whole persona of the shows is partially what makes it so fun. Because I think just showing up as me is always kind of boring. Like I'm an interesting character, but my character is more interesting for shows. It works better as far as like getting getting people to interact. I remember I was talking to my buddy MJ Lindo, an incredible artist, and MJ was saying, face itches. MJ was saying she feels really nervous doing shows, and I was like, so put on some shades, put on a hat, figure out who you're gonna be for the show, and just be that character, man. Shine. Be be a boss, you know. Just do it. Like you gotta. If you is too shy, then be somebody else who's not. So I'm working on that. I'm thinking about these things. I might do a little bit of fan art just to have on there. It's Halloween. It's around Halloween, so I might do some. I might try to pick some like the crow stuff. I might pick some of the. I might do some of the Adventure Time stuff just for fun. Just do like a couple of those because they're silly. Uh, and then my regular art, my insane madness art. I don't know. Yeah. Well, as it goes, empty. And we're pretty much done for the day. I'm gonna work on the video for tomorrow. I gotta go pick up cat food. I gotta see all these things I gotta do, and then keep them moving. The stationary is never really the option in a lot of cases. So I'm going to try and do my best to help everyone get into the groove. So I love you. Don't break dance badly. Eat breakfast. Have a great day. Have a good weekend. And coming up. And I will see you next week. In or out. Ciao. Bye.